Hello and welcome to week 1, getting started for the course In Action Integration Framework for SAP Business One. My name is Miriam Rieger, and in this unit I will tell you about working with the BIS store. The objective of this unit is to define the purpose of the BIS store database and how to exit it. In the previous unit, you saw that the integration framework features a web browser-based user interface. The architecture of the integration framework includes a relational database as a persistent store for developed solutions. There is a logical interface layer called the BIS store. The BIS store is the XML persistency layer and logical storage. When a scenario is created, it is stored in the BIS store together with the respective XML documents. There are two ways to access the stored scenarios and XML documents. The first way is using the embedded XML editor. The integration framework has a built-in, rudimentary XML editor that can be used to modify XML documents for a scenario. You invoke this XML editor from the browser interface. The second way is using an external XML editor. You can use your preferred XML editor if it supports WebDAV. When you use a WebDAV XML editor, you access the BIS store layer directly. To access the BIS store, you typically use a URL and then browse for the appropriate scenario. Using a WebDAV tool also gives you the option to develop your scenarios offline by downloading the documents from the BIS store, updating them offline, and then uploading them to the BIS store. When you access the BIS store directly from a WebDAV tool, you will see a structure similar to the structure shown here, with different expandable nodes. This view of the BIS store folders is not available when you use the embedded XML editor. I will show it later in the demo. Scenario packages are stored in the com.sap.b1i.scenarios.design area of the BIS store. You will also see it later. Scenario packages are identified with the prefix vpack and the development prefix you entered. In this example, it's the scenario package vpack.sap.icpurchasing. The scenario steps are identified with the prefix YBIU, Business Integration Unit. You should develop a naming convention so that your scenario packages are easy to locate. Let's go to the demo to see the BIS store. I will switch to my system. As I said in the slides, you have two possibilities to enter the XML editor. The first one is that you use the external XML editor. For this one, I'm using here CyberDuck to enter it, and we enter the BIS store. You see it here. You see the folder structure. And as I said in the slides before, you find your scenarios here under scenarios.design. When I open it, you see the first level. These are the data sets. I will move a little bit down. You see here many data sets. Here are some of our units we will create later. But you also see some of the SAP scenarios. Let's move a little bit down. For example, here with the POS. This is for the point of sales solution. And let's go up to my scenario. And when I open it here, you see the groups and the related documents here. If you want to work with the external editor, you go to the relevant document and you open it. Not here, just a second. By using, in my example, I'm using here Notebook to edit, Notepad to edit this, this document. This is the external editor. Let's go to the integration framework itself. There you find the internal XML editor here under Tools. And here you have the XML editor. When you're using the internal editor, you really have to know each node. There's not this structure, this folder structure as we saw in the CyberDuck. Here you have to select each node individually. We have also to move down to the scenarios design. Then I say select. Then I have to choose the scenario. I take this one, say select, and the respective document. Let's take this one, say select, and then I can click on open, and this is the internal embedded XML editor. If you're using the internal XML editor, you can also add this view directly from the process. This means when you are working in a scenario, let's move to scenarios and step design. You have to select the scenario. I take this one, and when I go to processing, I have here each atom, and then you can go directly to the atom, and if you click on it, and you see the internal XML editor, and you can work here also. It's the same as you saw before here via Tools and the XML editor. During your work, when you're creating new scenarios, all of them are stored in the BIS store. So let's go back to the slides. And in this unit, you learned about the BIS store, the logical database. You can open and edit XML documents from the BIS store from the browser interface. The documents will open in the embedded XML browser, which is a rudimentary XML tool. You can use a fully functioning external WebDAV XML editor to access the BIS store structure directly. And in the next unit, you will learn about the scenario building blocks that are provided for you to define scenarios. Thank you for attending this unit, and see you hopefully in the next unit. Bye bye.